my name is Michael Edwards. I am the Director of Patrol Enforcement with the Jacksonville Sheriff Office, and I will be one of your incident commanders for this upcoming Florida-Georgia weekend. And once again, we'll be using the Unified Command model of the National Incident Management System. We've actually been utilizing this NIMS process for approximately 3 years. And one of the things at the conclusion of this press conference, we'll give you a copy of our organization chart. We'll actually outline the NIMS process and who will actually be serving as the Unified Commanders with me. For example, I would like to introduce just want to announce some of the individuals that will be serving as the incident commander with me under the Unified Command. Under Unified Command, I'll have Chief Charles Moreland from the Jacksonville Fire and Rescue Department will be in the Unified Command area. In addition to that, we'll have Mr. Al Kennard representing the city of Jacksonville. So the three of us will actually represent the Unified Command as part of the NIMS process. And in addition to that, we'll be working with the city of Jacksonville, the mayor's office. Will be working with the special events office, as well as the Sports and Entertainment Commission and SMG. Those are some of the partners that will be working with us for this upcoming Florida-Georgia weekend. In addition to that, we will work with Mr. Tony Slayman and the management of the Jacksonville Landing, and we will also be working with other law enforcement agencies such as the State Alcohol, Beverage, and Tobacco Agent. Will be working with FWC as well as the U.S. Coast Guard, just to name some of the different agencies that will be working with the Jacksonville Sheriff Office. When we have an event of this magnitude, one of the #1 issues is public safety, and we are confident that our plan of action that we have developed will make this a safe and secure and enjoyable event for everybody attending this event. And one of the things that we have done over the last 3 to 4 months, working with the different partners, is that we have been looking at our plan and looking at what worked well last year and looking at those areas that we can improve on. Because one of our core values of the Jacksonville Sheriff Office is always improving. So we're always looking at ways to do our job better. So at the end of this press conference, I know our police information staff will actually be giving you some information that will be on our Jacksonville Sheriff Office website. In addition to that, some safety guidelines and traffic information have been sent out to the media, and this information will be found on our JacksonvilleSheriff.org website. In addition to that, there's more information that will be on the city website under FloridaGeorgia.org. In addition to that, one of the things I can share with you is that when we look at the plan from last year, we look at ways to make the plan better, and we're very, very aware of the budget as it pertains to this upcoming year. I think everybody knows that budgets has been tight for not only the city of Jacksonville, but other agencies as part of the city of Jacksonville. And with that, we have made some reduction in our staff. And last year, our total cost to the agency was approximately $320,000. We have been able to reduce that to approximately $270,000. But one of the things I can share, which is with that reduction, I'm very confident in that the plan of action we have will be just as great as the one we had last year. And public safety is still our #1 priority. We will make this a safe and secure and enjoyable event for everybody coming to visit our great city. And with that, I will entertain any questions you have.
What are you cutting? What specifically, how many people, for instance, do you have this year compared to last?
Basically, what we're doing is that we're actually staggering the start time of some of the officers. In the past, there's been times where we bring in the majority of the officers at one time. So this year, what we're looking at doing is staggering those hours and like bringing some of them in 1 hour early, bringing another group in an hour later, and bringing some more in. So those are some of the creative things that we will be doing this year. And again, our primary mission is public safety. So, and you can rest assured that we will have sufficient number of officers out there to deal with any issues that may come up.
So did your numbers change at all, though, as far as how many people will actually be working, or just the times when they'll be working?
Well, some of the numbers changed as well. We actually reduced some of the numbers as well.
What are the specifics of that you have? What's the reduction? What are the numbers?
That's part of our tactical action plan, and until we get it cleared with the general counsel, I'm not at liberty to release the number of officers that we will be reducing. But I can let you know that the officers we have out there will be the appropriate number of officers to deal with any situation that arises.
Can you tell us?
Yes, ma'am.
Just as you mentioned these tweaks to the plan from previous years, is there anything that's going to be specifically noticeable to people in the community that they might notice is different from in years past with your?
No, ma'am. I mean, they won't be able to see the difference. Like one of the things we do from a traffic standpoint is because this is a major event, you have about 100,000 people come into this game. So one of the things we do from a traffic standpoint, my traffic officers will be starting to direct traffic as early as 8:30 in the morning. And like I said, this game gonna start at 3:30. So the ultimate mission we have is try to get everybody into their seat by the time the game starts. And again, we strongly encourage everybody to take advantage of the JTA shuttle service that will actually be starting 4 hours before the game. So we encourage people to do that as well. And if you're coming down to the stadium, we encourage people to come at least 5 hours ahead of time because we know parking is very limited. So again, we encourage people to come early, and from a staffing standpoint, you will not notice any reduction in my staffing.
What about
Yes, ma'am.
security at RV City?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. We will have staffing in RV City. Matter of fact, we opened that up today, and we have staffing in RV City. So we'll have officers in that particular location throughout this weekend.
Is it any different having an extra day now? I think they opened up RV City a day earlier this year than past years.
No, I mean, really, there's no change. We still have security there, and we'll be prepared to deal with any issues that may arise at RV City.
An event this size, how hard is it for JSO to keep everybody safe? I mean, this is a huge event.
One of the things I can tell you is that during my 28 years with the Jacksonville Sheriff Office, I've actually been a part of this planning process for approximately 8 years. And one of the good things is that when I look at my command team, the individuals that I'm going to be working with closely, we've actually done this together as a team before. So it's great being able to have the same individuals in place from the Jacksonville Fire and Rescue Department, as well as Mr. Al Kennard representing the city of Jacksonville, and all the other partners that will be participating in. And this is one of the things that we know this is a great event for the city. This is an opportunity for us to showcase the city of Jacksonville, and we look forward to the challenge. And the challenge is to make this a safe and enjoyable event for everybody that's coming down to enjoy it, and actually the participants as well.
So the budget for last year for security was $320,000, and you're saying this year it's $270,000?
No, what I'm saying is that my actual cost that we actually spent last year was approximately $320,000, and right now my projected, based on my staffing, was right around about $270,000. But one of the things you have to take into consideration with last year's game actually went into overtime. So when that game go into overtime, I mean, my officers inside the stadium have to work a little bit later, and the traffic guys have to work a little bit later out there in the field. So you have to take that into consideration as well. So we plan for this game to be over after the end of the fourth quarter. But if the game ends up going into overtime, we'll be prepared to deal with that as well.
I mean, obviously with the budget, you guys had to make some significant cuts also with police officers, and also too with paying officers overtime. How are you guys planning on doing that? Because I know with these reductions, are we going to be seeing less officers at this game? And if so, how are you going to deal with that overtime?
No, ma'am. When you look at the staffing, you will not be able to tell any reduction in staffing. And one of the things I can share, which is that you are absolutely correct. We did lay off 48 officers, but one of the things I can tell you, being the director of patrol and enforcement, every one of those positions, we have been able to backfill those positions. So I have officers in each one of those positions where we lost officers at. And then in addition to that, some of the things that we do from a proactive standpoint is that I bring additional officers to work in the patrol division so we can be prepared to handle the cost for service. So you will not see any reduction in public safety. We'll be able to handle all the calls that come out on starting from tomorrow throughout this weekend. So I feel very confident that the plan that we have in place will make this a safe and enjoyable event for everybody coming to visit us.
Will your
Yes, ma'am.
costs then go up? Because last year you mentioned that you ended up actually spending the 320, that was with overtime. So if you're budgeting 270, I'm assuming that you realize it could go up if it goes into overtime.
Yes, ma'am. I
Okay,
does.
so this
I
is
does.
just based on
Yes.
no overtime.
Yes, ma'am. Last year our cost was actually, our actual cost was 320.
Right.
I was actually budgeted at about 345,000. So I actually had a reduction last year. And like I said, my budget, for this game is about 270. But again, with the plan that we have in place, we actually budget a little bit less than that. And then knowing that 270 is actually is the top figure. But again, one of the things is that I do have what's known as a special events budget. I got a line item that all my special events fall in. For example, the Jaguar games is in this same account, so I have a budget amount there. So it gives me the opportunity to be able to reduce my staffing throughout the year. So it's not just based on this Florida-Georgia weekend that's going to take place. So I have other events throughout the year that I can reduce and either increase in staffing to be able to stay within budget.
But these numbers are just Florida, Georgia.
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
I just wanted to ask you, with some of the changes at the mayor's office, with the special events office in particular, has that readjusted any of your plans? With
No, ma'am. One of the things I can tell you is that the young lady that they have working with us, we'll work with her in the previous years. I feel very confident in working with her. We have a great partnership. So, to be honest with you, I don't think we'll skip a beat. We'll continue to move forward and accomplish what we need to get done. And again, just to kind of point out some of the individuals that actually report to Unified Command. We have Mr. Mike Boda from the Sports, and he's actually from the Sports and Entertainment Commission, which is part of JEDC, and he actually served as our liaison with both of the colleges, the University of Florida as well as the University of Georgia. And also we have the special events. Sarah Horn will actually be the representative from the special events who will be reporting to us as well. And then we have the different logistics section, which we have Mr. Jim Bowles, who worked with us for the last couple of years. And under our operations section, we have Captain Bruce Scott from the Jacksonville Fire and Rescue Department, who served in this role last year. And in addition to that, we have Chief Darrell Daniels, who's will be serving as our planning section chief from the Jacksonville Sheriff Office. And again, I'm fortunate to be able to be working with a team like this, and then working with Chief Moreland as well as Mr. Al Kennard. So I feel very confident that we will have another great event without any major incidents.
So you can't tell us exactly how many officers we'll see.
All
at
right,
this
thank
game?
you. We have to get our mic. We're live in 15 minutes.
Go ahead, Emily.
Do you have, can you tell us an exact number of officers that are going to be there at this game as opposed to last year?
Okay.
Make sure I grab mine. Sorry, guys. Did you grab
Emily, what I can say, I can actually give you a range of the number of officers. Just for traffic for a game of this magnitude, you're looking at anywhere between 160 officers to 190 officers that will be providing traffic control to be able to move this large crowd into the sports complex area. Inside the stadium, you're looking at a range of officers, probably between 100 and 130 officers working inside the stadium, and that those numbers are very consistent with what we've actually done in the past.
Okay, so it's not going to be, with the budget reductions, it's not going to be any different this year than last year with the number of officers that will be serving in Florida, Georgia.
Emily, you will not be able to notice any reduction in the number of officers that will be participating in this event.
Last question.
Because, like I said, our number one mission here is public safety. So, I have staffed this appropriately to be able to handle any situation that may arise.
Anybody?
Well, just to clarify though, there are fewer officers, you just can't comment because you said you need to talk to the general counsel's office. We won't notice it is what you're saying.
Absolutely.
But there are fewer than there were last year.
Yes, there will be a reduction in the number of officers,
Okay.
but one of the
I just
things
wanna
I
make
can
sure.
tell you is that what we did was by staggering those officers, that staggering their reporting time, they actually gave us the opportunity to be able to have almost very close to the same number of officers we had the previous year. But from a layperson standpoint, you will not be able to notice a difference in the number of officers we have
And can you tell
deployed.
us where the money from the budget is gonna come from? 270 you're projecting, but if it goes into overtime, how do you plan to pay those officers?
Okay, those officers will actually be compensated with overtime, because like I said, I do have a special events budget. And like I said, if for this particular event, I actually go over 270, I actually have a budget for the whole year on the special event. So I have other events throughout the year that I can reduce to be able to make up that cost.
Yeah, no, I just actually was, I was just gonna ask you one thing. So when we talk about this, because, I mean, this is not above and beyond what you guys normally pay the officers. I guess I should say, they're not all on overtime during this time.
No,
This is just how you guys separate out what everything costs.
Yes.
For different events.
Yes, I mean, this is an event that's staffed by off-duty officers.
This is, so these
Yes.
are all off-duty
Yeah,
officers,
yeah.
so.
Well, the majority of them are off-duty, and we
Majority.
do have some on-duty resources working with us as well. And this is how we've done things in the past. We would normally use a mixture of off-duty officers and on-duty, but it's more off-duty than on-duty resources.
No, just one last thing, I'm sorry, and I'll let you
Okay.
go. With the
Alyssa,
budget
I
cuts.
apologize, I called you Emily.
That's okay.